Hi, I'm Vanessa from Ellie and Mac, and welcome back to my sewing room. I am so excited to have you here today. This next group of pattern hacks are so near and dear to my heart. With Valentine's coming up so soon, Ellie and Mac wanted to give you some hacks for accessibility. And this is something that I am so excited about. Accessibility is something that affects us all, whether we're going to be recovering from surgery soon, having a baby, or we're caring for somebody who is in need of a little alterations to their clothes. I'm going to be showing you all the tips and tricks for that in this next group of videos. One of my most requested sews that I get in my sewing room is for this one particular object. This object helps with so many different things. I'm going to show you mine. This is my recovery pillow. What's so nice about these pillows, it has a little pocket for ice. So this is great if you're getting a headache, you can put it behind your neck, or if you have lower back pain, you can just put it right where you need it and it can help ice when you're leaning against the chair. Or let's say you have a sprained ankle, you can put your ankle on this pillow and put another ice pack on top. But what it is mostly used for is if you're recovering from a laparoscopic surgery, or I've done this for hernias or for mastectomies as well as for C-sections. And why you need a pillow like this is so you can add pressure to your belly in case you cough, you sneeze, or if you need to move, or you need to make the seatbelt a little more comfortable, as well as ice those new incisions. So this comes in so handy. I made this for my gallbladder and hernia operation back in last March, and it made recovery so much easier. This was my best friend. And so when I sew one of these up, I tell everyone this will become your best friend if you are having surgery. You will need to take it everywhere with you. So let me show you how I made this. Are you ready for a super fast project? With my fabric unfold, I'm going to cut off that folded edge. And then I'm going to be focusing on cutting 3 rectangles that are the exact same size. For me, I have found 17 inches long by 8 inches wide works perfectly. With this pillow being 3 layers, it gives your skin protection from the ice pack. As you know, we're not supposed to put ice packs directly on our skin, especially if we are on any pain medication like recovering from surgery, because it can burn our skin just like heat can. And with the pain medication, you might not tell that you're in trouble. So this is also one that is for safety using this pillow. After I've cut the 17 inches long, I'm going to be measuring it, and I'm just using my grid with my cutting mat to cut down to the 8 inches. And then I have my first 2 rectangles cut, and I'm just going to double check it with my very favorite pillow. And then I can use those 2 rectangles as a guide to help me cut the final one. So with this final one, you don't want to have it unfold, and you just want to make sure that everything lines up along those edges. If you have one cut a little shorter or not as wide, it's not going to line up, and you may miss the actual pocket for the ice. So once these 3 are done, we're going to start working on that little pouch for the ice. And so we're going to make sure that our edges are finished. I love to use my quilting square and chalk for this. It helps make sure that everything is accurately measured and I have no raw seams. So first I'm going to measure down 1 inch, and I'm going to mark that with chalk. And then I'm going to be measuring down 1.5 inches. And so this way I can fold over the top inch, and then I can fold it over one more time to have finished seams. So once I have everything lined up, I'm going to just check it, and then I can take it over to my ironing board to make these creases official. At my ironing board, again, I'm just going to fold down that 1st inch, and I'm going to make sure that it's lined up against that chalk. You want to just make sure that you're not uneven here, because this is the part where I want it to really look nice, because oftentimes I do give these as a gift and I want everything to be lined up. And now after I have that one folded in, I'm going to fold it again on the next line. And then you can easily iron that down, making sure that it has crisp lines. And then I'm going to be taking it right over to my sewing machine that's set up with a straight stitch. As you can see, I'm lining it up so it's only a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm just going to back stitch and lock that stitch in on this fold down piece of this rectangle. And so you want to make sure that everything is nice and straight. Now this next part you don't have to do, but when I'm giving these as gifts, I really do like to add tags to them. And there are so many places that you can find tags these days. I definitely suggest the little effort is worth it. And so with this tag, it does have raw edges on the side, so I'm just going to use my straight stitch just to sew it on just on the sides. You can go all the way around. It just kind of depends on which kind of tags you have. They do have some that are made out of leather that you can just sew in on the sides, or you can use some vinyl if you'd like to, if you use a solid fabric, because these are not going to go in the microwave because they're used for eyes. I know that sometimes with rice packs we kind of get worried on what exactly are we putting in the microwave, but with this it's just really easy. And so once we're done with the tag, you can see how nice that front is going to look. And so you want to make sure that you line up just like this, so you have one side right sides up, and then you're going to add your tag. And that you want to make sure that it's facing up as well. So now you're going to imagine this as one piece of fabric, and this is the front. And then you're going to put right sides together with the back piece. And then all you have to do from here is to make sure that everything is lined up perfectly, and then we're going to start adding our clips all the way around. Now you can use needles here, and I know this is very basic sewing pattern, but I do use clips most of the time, especially when it's so easy like this. You want to just make sure that you have those clips right there where you can see the fold over part and the start of that pouch, and I like to clip all the way around this. Now we need to leave an opening because we are going to be stuffing this with cotton or polyfill. So I'm going to be starting at the top, and I want to make sure I leave like 3 inches opened at the top so I have plenty of room to not only turn this out but to add the cotton. And I'm sewing this at a 1/2 inch seam allowance, so it's really easy just to get everything lined up and to make sure that you have plenty of space. And you can even come around. I did not do this, but once you get this all sewed up, you can actually use peeking shears, if I can say it, to make sure that it does not come unraveled in the inside. But most of the time I don't worry about it, especially with this 1/2 inch seam allowance. There is plenty of space for this not to fray. And just like that, we're at the beginning. And right here, we're going to be top stitching and leaving that nice big opening. And with our scissors, let's cut those right angles so we can make sure that they're not going to be too bulky when we turn this right sides out. And so let's see. I love having a little bit bigger of an opening because I'm going to actually top stitch along this whole top so it's nice and uniform instead of just having one little section that I top stitch to make sure that the cotton stays in there. Now with this, you can use so many different types of fabric. If you're going to be using it around your house, you can use some fun kid patterns, but this little love fabric that I found is just perfect for those who are recovering. And now we're just going to stuff it with cotton. And you don't need to stuff this so it's so full. You want to be able to still push in the ice, as well as you want it to still be nice and soft for when they're pushing it against their incisions if they sneeze or cough or move. And so this is not one that you need to overstuff, which makes it a lot easier to top stitch than if you have an overstuffed pillow. So as we're stuffing this, if you were to give this away as a gift, it's really easy to find ice packs for this, either at the store or online. You just want to make sure that they're about 6 inches by, I think 10 inches would be perfect. You just like to have a little space on the outside to help push it onto your stomach without having it hard with the ice. And then also you can give chapstick, you can give some lotion with this, some warm fuzzy socks. Anything that can help give comfort when you're just not feeling your best is one of the best gifts. It just shows that they are loved and cared for. Now, once it's stuffed, this is why the 1/2 inch seam allowance is so important here. It's a lot easier to top stitch with a 1/2 inch than it is to top stitch anything that is smaller. So it's gonna hold together and you're just gonna clip it in, and you can see how it's just, you have plenty of room to top stitch this. And then you're going to top stitch it at a 1/4 inch seam allowance along the whole top. So this gives it a nice uniformed look to the top of it, and it looks like it's intentional instead of just having an open hole at the side that you have to stuff in the cotton. And it's also easier to see that you have it all sewn the front and back than if you were to do it like on the side. Since there are 3 layers of fabric here, you could have missed the center one and have the cotton coming out there. So once you get this nice and top stitched, that's it. You're done. And look how cute that looks with the top stitch and the tag. So these are the ice packs that I use. I like this size. They're the 6 by I think 9 or 10 inches. And the reason why is they only stay cold for about 20 minutes. And that's about as long as you want to keep the max time you want to keep ice on your incisions or on any part of your body. After that, it no longer is effective and your blood vessels start going back to normal. So those sizes of ice packs are perfect, and they just slide in and you are ready to go. I'm not gonna lie, I am a terrible patient. My husband will definitely tell you I am horrible. I hate having to be stuck sitting somewhere for a long period of time. And I'm not a happy camper when I'm recovering. So just with that in mind, these pillows are so wonderful. I love that I can not need help and I can adjust my body. So I can put it behind my back, or I can kind of put it on my side to help adjust when it's really hard to move and I don't have to call anyone over to help. And that's another great thing for these. If you're helping somebody who may get bed sores, these little pillows are perfect because you can adjust the person off of the points of pressure, like the ankles, the hips. These little pillows come in so handy, and they do add so much comfort when you are recovering. Goodness, when I had my surgery, my husband was like, I'm a little concerned that you're still swollen a week out. And it was because this was tucked in my shirt, because it was so comforting having something, a little bit of distance between me and the rest of the world. So definitely make sure that you give these out for gifts if somebody's having surgery or you have one in your house just in need, because these little pillows are so handy. It would honestly make a really great service project to donate these to a hospital or to a surgical center or even a care center. Now, as we go on through these next videos, I would like to have some input from you. What are some areas that you would need a little help in? We've already gotten an email about needing one for shoulder cuff surgery, as well as for a broken leg, how to fit clothes over the boot. Now, another one I see a lot of is hip replacements, on what clothes is going to be easier to put on during those recoveries. And I also want to make sure we have videos to help with breastfeeding and how to have clothes that are easily suitable for that as well. But if you have any other things you'd like us to make sure that we're touching on, put it definitely in the comments. We want to make sure that these videos are perfect for you. And honestly, these next hacks are going to be so cute, regardless if you need them for accessibility or if you just want extra comfort. These are going to be for you. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. A like and subscribe would be great. I hope you guys have happy sewing. Thank you again. Catch you next time.